Inside Out 2 was amazing. Like the emotions were spot on. Everyone and every character kind of just made sense to me, especially, and that's really what it's about, right? Like, how do I feel about the emotions that were placed in front of me in this movie? I'm gonna tell you right now, I cried at least 3 times. Now, it's not one of those movies that were like sobby crying because their dog was lost or because someone got hit by a car or something like that, or like someone got stung by a bee and now she's dead. No, I cried because it felt so real to me that I could. It was almost like I was not in 4D, 2D. I was like in 18D. Where is that such a thing? 18D, where I just felt the movie. Like I felt what was going on. I felt what was happening. I felt the girl just going through different phases of life. And for me, it brought me back to different phases of life of where it was, where there was a character called Nostalgia, and she kept coming out once in a while. It was like a cameo. I'm not going to ruin the movie for you, but I might ruin the movie for you. But who cares anyway? So who cares if you're googling it, then it's ruined already. But she would come out, and like she's my favorite character because nostalgia is something that like I feel like we all live for. We all enjoy, especially at our age. If you're my age, right, which is 46 or even below, you love looking back at memories or things that have happened or things that have brought you joy. And for me, it really brought a lot of weird pain into reality, right? I'm sitting there in the movie theater with my kids, and imagine just being there, trying to enjoy a movie, but at the same time wondering, what are my kids thinking about this? And how do they feel about these emotions that are happening? Now, if you never watch Inside Out 2, maybe, or even 1, so let me give you a short breakthrough, really, really quick. There's a girl, inside her heads are different emotions, and they're controlling pretty much this girl's body and thoughts. Now, there's joy, sadness, anger, um I don't know, whatever. My mom's calling me right now because it is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, everyone. And my mother is calling me right now, and I'm going to ignore you, Mom, because I have to talk about the emotions that you're making me go through right now. And those are like the basic ones, especially when you're a kid, right? Joy, happiness, sad, um, maybe jealousy, definitely sadness, anger for sure, right? But as she now goes through puberty, the girl Riley is now introduced to other emotions like envy, anxiety, embarrassment, boredom, which you see in like a lot of teenagers, right? Especially when you turn 13, you kind of see all these different variations of emotions that pop up and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to control them. You're never taught about them. I was never taught about emotions. I was taught, and there's a scene where they're like, all right, let's bottle them up. Like, you bottle up your emotions. Like, you bottle up joy, happiness, sadness. And they showed these emotions getting bottled up and sent away while the other ones took over. The ones that are like the hormonal ones, right? The anxiety, the worry, the envy. I want to be him. I want to be her. I want this. I want them to like me. The embarrassment. Please don't make me look like this. Please don't let me look like that. I don't want to look like an asshole in front of these people. And then boredom, where you just kind of like, you're like an emo kid, right? It was like an emo character where you just kind of sit there on your phone the entire time, head down at like a party at your uncle's house that you don't give a fuck about. And you're just sitting there. But it was great. It was great the fact that they were on point what it is you're going to go through. And I enjoy that movie because it now sets me up to at least talk about it with my kids. And my kids are not ready for these hormone, they're not going to have hormones for the next couple of years. Obviously, they have them now because they can smell his armpits. They're starting to smell already. So it's going to start stanking in here. But at some point, we're going to have to talk about it. But what the movie did was that Phoenix sat next to me and he said, Dad, what's anxiety? And I was like, bitch, you want to know what anxiety is? Open up my mind. Open up my brain. I'll tell you what it is. It's fucking right there. It's right in front of your face. That's what anxiety is. I'm so anxious in movie theaters. Like, I think about the people that are gonna walk. A lady walk across me, like in an airplane, but she had more space going that way. But because this was closer to the exit, she fucking went through my family. And then, hey, excuse me, let me spill popcorn because I want to refill my popcorn. So she did that shit. Walked down. I have anxiety about that. I have anxiety about people. I have anxiety about like shooters coming into the fucking movie theater and taking my whole family out. What am I gonna do? Right? I'm gonna be the one to army crawls through, fly kicks them in the face, takes their teeth out with my fucking teeth, and then save the day. These are the things that I think about. These are the things that happen when I'm in public places, especially a movie theater. Anyway, that was way off topic, but my son sat next to me and he was asking like, what's anxiety, what's embarrassment, and I didn't want to obviously talk in the movies, so I said, we'll talk about it when we get home and I'll show you what, anxiety is and what embarrassment is, and these are all these new emotions. That's what I loved about it, because he's only 8 years old, but at the same time now I can at least educate him to like know what's to come, because it's coming. It's going to come faster than we know it. And we ignore the fact that we shouldn't teach these kids this, or we shouldn't do this with our kids. No, fuck that. I don't want them to experience it, God forbid. But if it's in our gene pool, well then 50% chance someone in my fucking family is going to be bipolar. Right? And that's part of life. And it sucks. I really hope none of them do. But there's a good percentage that they're going to have it. And I hate it. But why not at least answer some of the questions now? So when they're a little bit older, maybe they do start to experience it, they'll be more open to talking to me about what's happening versus neglecting and ignoring and just bottling up what it is that's happening to our children or to ourselves. And now we got to explain it when the fire is already high. What I'm trying to do is not try to kill fires. I'm not trying to put fires out. Like, I'm not. But I am trying to create some awareness in my family. I am trying to create some awareness inside this channel. Because it's not about killing the emotion. It's not about getting rid of the emotion. It's about handling it's about handling the emotion. It's about understanding the emotion. It's about knowing that it's coming and what to do in that situation. And in this movie, she pretty much has an anxiety attack, right? And it's awesome. It's so good that I was in my seat getting anxiety. So if you have anxiety and you don't want to watch this movie, then don't fucking go watch it, honestly, because it gave me anxiety. Because it explained it so well through animation, through sound, through almost the feeling of being there in this whirlwind of an emotion, of anxiety. And then there was a part of the scene where anxiety was a girl, I believe. I don't know, it might be a non-binary movie. I have no fucking idea. And she was frozen. But as she was frozen, she started to cry. Because that's what it feels like. It gets so overwhelming that your body freezes, shakes, trembles, and whirlwinds like a tornado. But you don't know what to do when you feel like you're stuck. And the character just started to cry, while another character named Joy, who was Joy and Happiness, was like the main character of the cartoon, started to try to comfort her, pull her away, trying to get her out of it. And no one knew how to take her out of this anxiety whirlwind. But the only person that could have taken her out was the actual main character, the girl. And she had to make a decision to think and take things in, like nostalgic moments. And then you watch her go through all these episodes of self-soothing, from taking deep breaths to thinking about great thoughts, joyful thoughts, happy thoughts, taking in the breath, taking in the moment that she's in, versus allowing anxiety to take over with this whirlwind and tornado that's happening around her. And what's great is that it almost feels like you are with her. Right? I really hope that they make this like a ride or like some type of shit where You are stimulated inside this tunnel or character where it's so good at that point. And a lot of people may disagree with me. If you do, that's cool. I don't care. It's an opinion, right? It's an opinion. But to me, I believe that this movie portrayed an emotion that's very hard to explain to people. It's very hard to explain. Imagine when you first had your first anxiety attack. Anyone out here, if you had your first anxiety attack, please comment, subscribe. Whenever you had it, let me know when it was you had one, what age, where you're like, these are a lot of thoughts. Why are these thoughts still coming? How many scenarios do I have to go through until this is over? Why can't I control? Why can't I control? Why can't I control? And it's exactly what was happening, exactly what you saw. And for me, that was fucking like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of steak. To me, I don't care about fucking steak. The tomahawk. That's not even good. That's right. I like because it's big, right? Tomahawk steak. Rare. I like it rare. Maybe medium rare, depending on the person or the sides. But it was delicious. Like, it was great. Mainly because it showed how it started, right? How the anxiety starts. It showed the thought process of being a teenager and trying to deal with all these thoughts. Now, trying to deal with all these thoughts, but also with the thought of what are people going to think about me, on top of what's going to happen to me if none of this stuff happens correctly or according to plan. On top, and it just keeps building and building and building. And then out of nowhere, it's so many emotions that she can't handle it. And that's when anxiety goes into a whirlwind, trying to control this girl's mind. But understanding that there is no control. We cannot control that. That is now a part of her. It is now something she's going to feel and experience. And according to statistic, I think it's 35% of women, and then it's like 25% of men have anxiety. Right? So more women obviously experience anxiety more than men. And then how she dealt with it. Right? How she chose to take deep breaths, to take control, to allow it to simmer, allow it to start going down slower and slower, like you're on a big roller coaster ride. It just keeps going and going. And when they hit the off switch, it doesn't stop immediately, right? It's got to run down. It's got to relax. It's got to slow down. Then finally it comes to a stop. And that's where we realize what's happening, or what has happened, or what maybe have caused it. And now we reflect. And at that point, I would start writing stuff down. Like, this is what happened today, and this is what triggered it, and this is what happened, and how it happened, and this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen next time. And that's preparation. I really loved it because it talks about every single thing that we talk about here on this channel. It talks about every single thing we talk about in the podcast. So I'm not a pusher for the movie. I get no money for the movie. I get nothing at all. But what I do get is I got a lot of great lessons and a lot of great feedback because my kids asked me questions about things we never were taught when I was a kid. What the fuck was anxiety? I didn't know why I couldn't go to sleep before a test. I didn't know why I couldn't go to sleep before a big match. I didn't know why I couldn't go to sleep before a big tournament. It makes a lot of fucking sense now because the movie just taught it. They didn't show that shit in Vision Quest. They showed a high school kid fucking the teacher. Shit. If you haven't, Inside Out 2. Why? Because it's going to show you exactly what it's like to feel this emotion. If not, it's on Netflix now. Inside Out 1. It's fucking awesome. Disney, whatever. Inside Out 1. Watch that first. And then wait till maybe if you want to, or stream it or crack stream it. Just get to seeing it because it really does cover emotions. I'm like excited. There's other things in there that like are a lot questionable, where I'm sure blogs and other reviewers and stuff like that are gonna say, is this LGBTQ? You know what I mean? Like it's pretty there. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about emotions. My favorite one was Nostalgia, Who Came Out. I really loved Anxiety. And it's weird to say because I saw the doll in Target the other day, and I made a video on a short about it. And I was like, man, this doll just looks exactly like Anxiety feels like. And then when I saw the character, spot on, straight spot on. Subscribe up if you can. It takes a lot of work to do this shit. And I do appreciate everyone coming out, as always. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for coming out. Subscribe, and I will talk to you all soon. Happy Father's Day to everyone. It is Father's Day. That's why I did it today. Men's Mental Health Month for you guys, for you girls, whatever you are. If you consider yourself a father, well then, happy Father's Day.